Hey everyone, if you've been hunting for a gaming laptop that actually lets you play the latest titles without constantly tweaking settings, and you want something that feels solid enough to bring to the coffee shop or dorm room without blowing your budget, this review is for you. I've spent the last couple of weeks swapping between a desktop tower and a few high-end laptops, and I know exactly how frustrating it is to buy a machine that looks impressive on paper but turns out to be a compromise you didn't sign up for. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video I'll walk through why the Acer Predator Helios Neo 18 feels different from the usual big-screen gaming laptop crowd, where its price actually makes sense, and who should think twice before hitting that buy button. First off, let's talk about the everyday scenario most of us face. You want to game after work or class. You might also need to edit a video, run a few spreadsheets, and maybe hop on a Zoom call. The Helios Neo 18 promises desktop-level performance in a portable package, and that promise is anchored by its Intel Core Ultra 9275HX and an NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti. In real use, the 18-inch WQXGA display with a 240Hz refresh rate and G-Sync does exactly what it says: games look buttery smooth, and fast-paced shooters stay razor-clear even when you crank the graphics settings up. I ran a few sessions of Cyberpunk 2077 and the ray tracing was on, yet the frame count stayed comfortably in the high 40s, thanks to the combination of the RTX 5070 Ti and the AI-assisted upscaling that Acer built into the firmware. That means you can actually enjoy the visual fidelity you see in marketing videos without sitting at a laptop bench for hours tweaking DLSS sliders. Now, real world doesn't just mean gaming. I also used the machine for a 30-minute 4K video edit. The 32GB of DDR5 RAM and 2TB Gen 4 SSD meant my editing software never stalled on importing clips, and the render times were comparable to my mid-range desktop. The killer Wi-Fi 6E kept the stream stable when I live-streamed the edit walkthrough, something that older laptops with slower wireless modules often struggle with. In short, the Helios Neo 18 is not just a gaming box, it's a multitasking workhorse that can handle creative workloads without feeling like a clunky sidekick. But there are still hidden trade-offs that you should be aware of before you click Add to Cart. The biggest one is the size and weight. At 18 inches and weighing just under 7 pounds, it's larger than the typical 15-inch gaming laptops you see on YouTube. When you open it up on a cramped desk or try to tuck it into a backpack, you'll notice the chassis is bulkier than you might expect for something that's supposed to be portable. If you travel often and need to lug your laptop on a short-haul flight, this is something to think about. The power brick is also sizable, near a liter of plastic, so you'll need a dedicated space in your bag for it, and you can't just plug into a tiny USB-C charger like some of the newer thin and light models. Another practical limitation is the battery life. Even though the laptop has a 99 Wh battery, the higher fresh rate screen and powerful GPU drain it fast. In my tests, playing a demanding title with ray tracing on at medium settings gave me about 3 hours of unplugged gaming. That's decent for a performance-focused laptop, but if you expect to game on a plane or in a coffee shop without an outlet, the Helios Neo 18 isn't going to be your marathon companion. For everyday tasks, web browsing, office work, streaming videos, the battery stretches to roughly 7 hours, which is decent enough for a normal workday. Now let's talk about who should actually consider buying this machine. If you're a serious gamer who wants to play AAA titles at high settings, values a high refresh rate, and also needs strong creative performance for things like video editing, 3D modeling, or AI-assisted workloads, the Helios Neo 18 hits a sweet spot. Its combination of a 275HX CPU, RTX 5070 Ti GPU, and a massive DDR5 32GB/2TB SSD configuration means you'll rarely feel bottlenecked, whether you're rendering a 4K video or dropping into a competitive esports match. The AI-driven upscaling also helps you squeeze more visual fidelity out of older games without sacrificing frame rate, which is a hidden value not always highlighted in specs sheets. On the flip side, if you're a casual gamer who mostly plays indie titles, or if you prioritize ultralight portability for frequent travel, you might want to look elsewhere. There are thinner 15-inch laptops that can still run most games at high settings, albeit with a slightly lower GPU tier, and they'll fit more comfortably in a backpack. Also, if you're on a tighter budget, you can find laptops with a slightly older RTX 3060 or 3070 that still deliver solid performance for most games, and they'll come in at a lower price point. The Helios Neo 18's price premium is really justified by the combination of the biggest screen, the top-tier GPU, and the AI integration that helps you get the most out of that.